Hi, I will take you through the valuation of equity shares in this session. We have already discussed what are equity shares in the previous session, but let's recall it quickly. What are equity shares? Equity shares are also called as ordinary shares, and such shareholders have a right to vote in a company. They indirectly choose the management of the company because they have a right to vote. They in a way own the company to the extent of the number of shares that they hold in the company. The share capital is held permanently by the company, and these shares are also transferable to the other person. Equity shareholders, they get dividend depending upon the profits made by the company. So hence their cash flows are quite uncertain as against preference shares and bonds. Now in this session we will look at the approach of dividend capitalization model or dividend discount model and earning capitalization model to understand how equity shares are valued are uh, are valued. Let's look at the dividend discount model first. I would again like you to recall what you have covered in the previous sessions related to present value calculation, related to calculation of present value of preference shares and also of bonds. The dividend discount model is also based on a similar understanding with the difference in nomenclature as I had mentioned earlier. Now, if you see this formula, V0 represents the present value or the current market value of an equity share. D1, D2, D3 till the time period T, they represent dividends in consecutive years. Now, these dividends can be uniform every year or they can be non-uniform depending upon what the company decides. K is the expected rate of return or the discount rate. As you can see in the formula here, the discounting is being done as the discounting of an annuity, which means you are discounting the dividend received in year 1 for one period, the dividend received in year 2 for 2 periods, the dividend in the year 3 for 3 periods, and so on till the time period T. Let's look at it with the help of this example. A stock pays 3 annual dividends here. In this example, there are 3 annual dividends being paid. So the time period of the stock is 3 years. Why do we talk about time periods here? Because an investor at any point in time may wish to sell the stock in the market. So the present value is calculated for the number of periods that the investor holds the stock for. Now, $100 are the dividends received by the investor for three consecutive years, and the expected rate of return of the investor is 15%. That is why we have taken the value of K as 15 in this formula. By using these values, when we calculate the present value, the answer is $228.32. I hope you understand the formula well. This is based on the formula mentioned here, where the dividend of the first period, which is $100, has been discounted for 1 year at a rate of 15%, and that is why that's what is mentioned here. Then $100 in the second year is discounted for 2 years, and $100 in the third year is discounted for 3 years to get a total present value of $228.32. We can also say that in the current scenario, the worth of the stock is not more than $228.32. Suppose instead that the stock pays 3 annual dividends of $10, $20, and $30. Now here, what is the difference? The difference here is that the cash flows in first 3 years are non-uniform. The investor gets $10 in the first year, 20 in the second, and 30 in the third. The process of valuation of the stock does not change. It remains the same except that your dividend values change. With the same process as earlier, we arrive at the present value of the stock, which is $48.16, which means the worth of the stock in the present scenario is $48.16. Now, this valuation was in a case when the dividend was not growing year on year. From this slide onwards, we are going to look at a scenario where dividend is growing year on year, which is a more practical scenario because a company grows its dividend, is expected to grow its dividend every year. Now, the heading here reads as constant dividend growth rate model, which means dividend is growing every year, but the growth rate of the dividend is constant. A version of the dividend growth dividend discount model that assumes a constant dividend growth rate, as I said. Now, if you look at the formula here, it says D T plus 1. T is the time period. Let's say T is the current time period. Let's say T is 0. Then D T plus 1 will be the dividend in the first period. This dividend is calculated by multiplying the dividend in period 0 with 1 plus G. Why 1 plus G? Because we have primarily multiplied current year's dividend with the growth rate of the dividend, which is G. G determines the growth rate of the dividend. Suppose the dividend of a company in period 1, that is D1, is equal to $100 and the dividend growth rate is 10%. The discount rate is 12%. To find out the present value of such a stock, we will find out the values of dividends in 3 periods. The value of dividend in the first period is given in the question, which is $100. In the second period, the value of dividend is $110. 100 has been multiplied by 1.10 because the dividend in the second year will grow by 10%. Similarly, dividend in the third year will grow by another 10%. So we can multiply $100 with 1.10 to the power of 2, or we can multiply 110 with 1.10. We get the same answer. If you find out the present value of these dividends, the process of finding out the present value remains the same, which means 100 in the first year, 110 in the second year, 121 in the third year, and then you discount these dividends at a rate of 12% for 1 year, 2 years, and 3 years respectively to arrive at $263.10, which is the present worth of this stock. I hope this is clear. We move on to the next model. The next model is the constant dividend growth rate. Before we go on to the next model, let's look at the formula which can be used for this process, the process which I just finished explaining to you. Suppose in these examples, you see that the time period given is 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, which are smaller time periods. And as a student, it's easy for you to calculate the dividends in each of these periods and to individually find out the present value of each of these periods. Suppose this term was, say, 20 years. It would have been really difficult for the student to calculate the individual present values of the dividends in all 20 years. In such a case, the student can use this formula, which is given by D01 plus G. This D01 plus G can also be replaced with D1. Please understand that you always use D1 for calculating the present value of such a stock. That is why we have mentioned that is why the formula mentions D01 plus G, which is nothing but D1. D01 plus G divided by K minus T. K is the discount rate and G is the growth rate. Multiplied by, within brackets, 1 minus 1 plus G to the power of T divided by 1 plus K to the power of T. The formula looks cumbersome, complicated, but it's not. You have to just input the values here and you can use your calculator to find out the present value of a stock which is receiving dividends for many number of years. You can even find it out for the stock which is receiving dividends for 2 years, 3 years, till as many number of years as possible, because the value of T will accordingly change. Now the constant perpetual growth. Now perpetual growth again is a growth which keeps on happening forever. In such a case, the formula used is D1 or D01 plus G divided by K minus G. Okay, this is all that you have to do. So let's say the dividend of a stock in year 0 or in the current period is 100. Let's say it grows by 10% in the next year. So D1 becomes 110. So we put the value of D1, which is 110, in this place and divide it by the discount rate. Let's say it's 12% minus the growth rate, which is 10%. Okay, and the student gets the answer. Let's look at this model, which needs a little bit of little more attention than the previous models. This is called as a two-stage dividend growth model. When we say two-stage, it means that it is used to value companies where, okay, where the first stage has an unstable initial growth. Let's say the company has just started declaring dividends. Say in the first few years, let's say the first 5 years, the company declares dividend randomly, okay, or non-uniform dividends, or it declares dividends uniformly but at a certain rate. After 5 years, the company revises its rate of dividend growth, and maintains that for the subsequent years. That is what is called as a two-stage dividend growth model. It is assumed that the dividend paid by the company also grows the way the company grows. That is what is the assumption which we take in such a case. This is a two-stage model. Let's understand this with this example. There is a company called ABC that has paid a dividend of $4 this year. This year means year 0. Please keep looking at the solution simultaneously for you to relate well to the question. So when we say this year, it means year 0. If you look at the table here, D0 is 4 and assumes a higher growth for the next 3 years at 15%. So the next 3 years, which means D1, D2 and D3, the dividend grows at a rate of 15%. So D1 is 4 into 1.15, which gives 4.6. D2 is 4.6 into 1.15, which is 5.29, and D3 is 5.29 into 1.15, which is 6.0835. That's how you calculate the dividends for the first 3 years. Now, you have to calculate the value of the stock using a two-stage dividend discount model when, after 3 years, the dividend grows at 4%. If you see in the question, for the first 3 years, dividend grows at a rate of 15%. After 3 years, dividend growth grows at a rate of 4% forever. So in the solution, we first calculated the dividend for the first 3 years, which was 4.6, 5.29, and 6.0835. These dividends have been discounted at 10% to arrive at the present value of these dividends in the year D0. So if you see, when you discount D1, you get 4.18. When you discount D2, you get 4.37. D3, you get 4.57. When you add them up, the value is 13.12. This 13.12 is the present value of dividends in the years 1, 2, and 3. And this present value is as of the period 0. Now look at the second step. Now the second step here is that the dividend grows at a rate of 4% from year 4, which means 6.0835, which is the dividend in year 3, now grows at 4%. That's what you see here. D4 has been calculated multiplying 6.0835 with 1.04, and you arrive at 6.3268. This is the constant dividend for the rest of the company's life. Hence, it can be looked at as a perpetuity. The dividend of 6.3268 can be looked as a perpetuity, and to find out the present value of this perpetuity, we have divided it by I minus G. I is the discount rate, which is 10%, and G is the growth rate, which is 4%. When you do this calculation, you arrive at a value of 105.45. A very interesting fact to note here is that this present value is not a present value as in year 0. This is the present value as in period 3, because this dividend of 6.3268 started from year 4. So the discounting can be done till the period just previous to the period in which the dividend started. Hence, 105.45 is the discounted value of the dividends received from period 4 and thereafter. And this discounted value is in the period 3. To, to bring it to the to period 0, we will have to discount this value further to period 0. Okay, and that's what has been done in the next step, where 105.45 has been discounted as a lump sum at a rate of 10% for a period of 3 years. When we do that, you arrive at a value of 79.23. When you add up 79.23 with 13.12, you arrive at the total present value of the stock, which is 92.35, and that's how you use the two-stage dividend growth model. This is all for now. Thank you. Hope you had a good understanding.